Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Sagittarius June 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up as well, as far as June goes, the sun will be in Gemini from the 1st until the 21st. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, there could be a strong focus, attention, concentration of energy on open adversaries, legal situations, partnerships, relationships, others in general, and negotiations and compromise. Now, given this is Gemini energy, this could be done with a lot of animation, a lot of vivaciousness, spirited manner. It could be done with a lot of variety. It might be dealing with many different people, as an example, or in some cases it could be many open adversaries as well, done within in a lot of lively energy and really but at the same time, remember, Gemini energy can be very loquacious. You might wind up doing more talking about these things than actually maybe actually really doing something about it. But anyway, also too, and it can be somewhat superficial energy too with Gemini. Gemini energy, of course, can lack persistence, so it's something to look at. So anyway, next thing up is, as far as June goes, the sun will be in Cancer from the 21st until the 30th. So the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on transformation, taxes, insurance, inheritance, intimate relationships, sex, psychology, emotional and monetary, and moral support as well. Given this is Cancerian energy, this could be done with a lot of Cancer-like sensitivity, emotion, nurturing energy with a lot of tenacity, showing a lot of sympathy, and especially toward your close connections, intimate relationships, a sexual partner at this time. Very protective energy, and also connected perhaps with safety and security. And this could be, say, if you're in, like, say, a joint like a checking or business account with somebody, and really making sure you're doing something where you're going to have you're in a situation where you're going to have money for the long haul, so to speak. That may be more emphasized as an example in this case. So anyway, this next thing up is the new moon will be in Gemini on June 13th, and the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Sagittarius, this could be in some cases a new Gemini open adversary or relationship. It could be a Gemini sun, moon, or ascendant, or one that embodies Gemini-like characteristics. It could be, in some cases, it could be the beginning of maybe a Gemini-like business partnership. It could be, maybe you might be connected with a Gemini sun, moon, or ascendant, or one that embodies Gemini-like characteristics, and the business might be Gemini related, such as something with journals, something connected with communications, such as data or satellite communications. It could be doing something with information technology, doing work on computers, something that could be Gemini related. And this could be a new period where you just decidedly become more communicative and more loquacious in your relationships, and maybe doing some more communication connected with compromise and negotiation at this time. And it could also be a time where you decide to express maybe more versatility with others and your people you know in your relationships. You might start maybe a writing project in which you collaborate with someone on. So anyway, next thing up is the full moon will be in Capricorn on June 28th. So the 2nd house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Sag, this could be a time where you might feel somewhat tired, exasperated, full perhaps of maybe a restricting or limiting financial or monetary situation, or maybe where you're overly negative or pessimistic, just negative in general regarding your self-worth or self-esteem. It just could, maybe it's a situation that's making you feel down and somewhat despondent and depressed, or maybe it could even be somebody that maybe at the place where you generate money at that you're tired of, and somebody that might be overly tyrannical, ruthless, overambitious, and just demonstrating very cold, callous qualities. Could also be a period where this could represent a culmination or completion of a monetary Capricorn related project. It could be connected with the government, business, something political, information technology, dentistry, something that could be connected with the skin, perhaps even. It could be selling products that are related, that are beneficial for the skin, perhaps. And also, this could be a full, powerful, really just sad, dejected, emotional energy, maybe directed strongly at somebody that might be impacting negatively your self-esteem and self-worth, or maybe at the place where you're generating income. So anyway, next thing up is Mercury will be in Gemini. So as far as June goes, from the 1st until the 12th. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Sag, well, this could be about the expression of manifold ideas regarding business partnerships, speaking with eloquence and diction with a significant other, and maybe doing so in matters connected with negotiation, compromise, and reconciliation, even showing a strong, dazzling way with words, perhaps, in doing so, and also trying to assimilate maybe many things at, perhaps at once simultaneously, maybe it could be in some business connection you might be involved with. It could be in conversation with the significant other, perhaps. And also it could be maybe about really dealing with manifold ideas connected with open adversaries and dealing with legalities, perhaps legal situations at this time. Anyway, next thing up as far as June goes, Mercury will be in Gemini from the 12th until the 29th. So the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Sag, this could be about the ability to extemporize in communications, perhaps with a sexual partner, someone you're in an intimate relationship with. It could be somebody that you might be handling your taxes, or you're involved, connected with an inheritance with, and also maybe perhaps more emotional communication with somebody you're in a shared resources situation with, and maybe regarding connected with emotional and moral support, more contemplative thinking perhaps regarding making a major change or transformation, even matters pertaining to taxes, insurance, inheritance. But remember, this could also be about maybe more sensitive to ridicule and criticism more so than usual. And if somebody's like, say, they're trying to evaluate you psychologically, because this is the 8th house, don't forget, and you might not like it, you might be more sensitive to that as well. And even just in general with 8th house matters, you might be really, your mind might be a little bit more sensitive to those issues at this time compared to usual. So anyway, next thing up is, as far as June goes, Mercury will be in Leo from the 29th until the 30th. So the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Sag, it could be really about speaking with a lot of command, a lot of authority with in-laws and grandchildren at this time. Also, too, this could be about really about being very self-assured and confident in your convictions regarding your philosophical and religious beliefs at this time. You might be boasting maybe about certain things you might be doing for your in-laws and grandchildren, maybe regarding collegiate college accomplishments and attainments at this time. And really, too, this could be also about more creative thinking in regards maybe to publishing at this time, and really and also too maybe thinking more confidently in matters connected with college education, higher education, if so applicable at this time. So Anyway, remember that Mercury, Mercury can also be about siblings. So you could be really, at this time, perhaps very domineering siblings, or Leo actual Sun, Moon, Ascendant Leo siblings in some cases, or ones that embody Leo-like characteristics, might factor in more to your philosophical outlook and other things connected with the ninth house, such perhaps as publishing and religious things pertaining to religion as well at this time. Anyway, next thing up is, as far as June goes, Venus will be in Cancer from the 1st until the 13th. So the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Sag. So at this time, this could be a time for Sagittarius where you may be putting more value in getting that really strong, sensitive, emotional support from family, and maybe people you feel close to home with, or I should say people maybe prominent in your home life. This could also be, the way this could manifest is maybe valuing safety and security in an intimate or sexual relationship. You might, if you're unattached, Sagittarius, you might find a Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant relationship, someone that might be in an 8th house field, such as astrology, the occult, psychology, maybe insurance, and it could be either a Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or someone that simply embodies Cancerian characteristics. And it could be, the way this could work out too, is that this could be really about doing something, really showing feelings of really sympathy, and a lot of nurturing, in expression and nurturing in terms of maybe with somebody that you're in an intimate or sexual relationship with, and really nurturing, perhaps maybe even some kind of maybe things of a monetary nature that are tied in, maybe with a business partner if you're in some kind of joint or shared account with somebody. So anyway, next thing up is Venus will be in Leo as far as June goes from the 13th until the 30th. So the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, for Sagittarius, this could be in some cases extravagant spending on in-laws and grandchildren, maybe on matters with higher education, or even publishing at this time. This could be about taking pride and dignity in higher education, and valuing generosity, perhaps in religious matters connected with a religious congregation, and also perhaps valuing extroversion and gregariousness in ninth house matters, such as people that you might meet traveling abroad, people you may know at a college, university, in-laws, grandchildren. It could be maybe someone you're doing some publishing with. So anyway, and also too, Sagittarius, if you're unattached, you might meet a Leo, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant perhaps while traveling abroad. It could be at a religious congregation, or maybe even at college, perhaps at some college or university. So anyway, and it might be, if it's not Leo, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, it might be someone that simply embodies Leo-like characteristics. Anyway, next thing up is Mars will be in Aquarius. So the 3rd house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. It will be retrograde from like the 26th until the 30th. Now, for Sag, this could be a time where situations with siblings, neighbors, people you may encounter in short journeys, they might be a little bit more acrimonious and contentious than usual. You might be getting maybe angry at these people, maybe for some kind of rebellious behavior at this time, or maybe arguments regarding idiosyncratic or even bizarre behavior connected with these people, and very unpredictable arguments. This could be a time too, we're talking about the 3rd house, it could be really a lot of really abundance of mental and physical energy at this time, more so than usual, which is really could be odd for, well, this is odd anyway being in Aquarius, but odd for Sagittarius in general. But the energy can be somewhat intermittent at the same time, and sporadic and erratic, but there is still a lot of it. There just might be some inconsistency with it. Now, the thing about this too is that this could be Also, I mean, remember that it's going to be retrograde in the latter part of the month, so it could be where you might be going back, so to speak, to Aquarius-like projects, expending energy doing Aquarius-like things, such as something with computers, electronics, innovation. It could even be model rockets. It could be something Aquarius-like that would be that you might have been doing with siblings, with neighbors, someone you may know prominent in your short journeys, or maybe even someone from your early education. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Jupiter will be in Scorpio. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Sagittarius, it will be retrograde in June as well. So anyway, this could be a time for Sag where he or she might find some luck and fortune, be very fortuitous, perhaps by through conquering hidden adversaries, through the use of going through subterfuge, superficiality, and perhaps even using guile in some cases and trying to weed out those people that are really actually their enemies as opposed to their friends. And also to expressing a more jocular side and jovial side in private, using perhaps caustic, subtle humor. And you might, because we're talking about Jupiter and the 12th house, Sagittarius might be uncharacteristically less jovial, at least outwardly, than usual, less effervescent. So anyway, but as I've talked about before, is that Jupiter can be somewhat paradoxical. It's very strongly benign and benevolent, but it could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. And it could expand surreptitious, manipulative, nefarious behavior from people that could be prominent in the private life. It could be the hidden adversaries, aunts, uncles, in some cases. And given that this is retrograde, remember that this could be about a review of about a profound philosophy, maybe connected, maybe with maybe the metaphysical, which includes astrology, or even spirituality at this time. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Saturn will be in Capricorn still. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. It will be retrograde. So anyway, this could be the way this could manifest for Sagittarius. There could be some restrictions and limitations tied into one's monetary or financial situation at this time. Maybe matters connected with self-esteem and self-worth, possessions, resources. The father may be more prominent in the financial outlook than usual. Might play a stronger role in self-esteem and self-worth at this time. A lot can depend on the on the aspects this makes. Also too, is that you might be, at this time, you might be taking care of someone that might be somewhat debilitated or sickly. That might factor in, maybe figures prominently in the money you generate. It could be at that place where you make money, maybe someone you know well, you might be taking care of at this time. And remember, given that this is going to be retrograde, this could be about a strong review of really serious responsibilities, perhaps to things of a monetary nature, your possessions, your resources, and really taking care of things connected with your self-worth and self-esteem. And anyway, next thing up is Uranus will be in Taurus. So the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, in some cases, this could reflect an unusual Taurus illness, something connected with the throat or the neck. It could be where the voice might be maybe changing a little bit or something. And some cases too, this could be about the formulation of a new financial plan for employment. And also too, the way this could manifest perhaps is that the routine and the health situation might be somewhat sporadic and erratic at this time. You might be dealing with some cases it could be Taurus friendships or friendships that embody Taurus-like characteristics, or sun, moon, or ascendant Taurus friends. or ones that embody Taurus-like characteristics could factor more in your daily routine, more so than usual, and may even be playing some role in the service that you provide for others. They might be maybe assisting you with that, and also could be really dealing with unpredictable, stubborn, obstinate behavior from people in the daily routine. It could be some people you maybe do some kind of service for, or maybe someone prominent in your place of employment or health life. So anyway, now the next thing up is Neptune will be in Pisces still, so the 4th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So for Sag at this time, Sagittarius might be dealing with some confounding and confusing maybe situations in the home life. In some cases, this could be about flooding in the home, maybe a connection with a family member. In many cases, it could be the less dominant parent, which is the mother, might be dissipating and dissolving. You might feel at this time that maybe your roots might be your ancestry. Something connected with that might be somewhat nebulous or unclear, and maybe your traditions might be as well. And really, you might be somewhat a little bit confused maybe as to who you are at the core, and also about trying to formulate maybe some plan, maybe for the end of life, like a financial plan, for example, or what have you. And in some cases too, remember, this could be about an accident, some kind of accidental chemical assimilation in the home, such as radon, because remember that Neptune is associated with chemicals. And it could be just like an accidental assimilation, such as something with radon. So it's just something to be careful about during this time. Anyway, next thing up is Pluto will be in Capricorn still. So the 2nd house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, I know a lot of you don't want me to talk about the dreaded D word, but you know I'm going to anyway. The thing about it is, well, this could actually be a manifest in a literal death, maybe of someone that you know that's prominent at the place where you generate income with, maybe has played a role in your possessions strongly. At the same time, this could also manifest perhaps in some kind of obliteration, maybe in connection with your resources, your possessions, your monetary situation. But remember too that Pluto is also about regeneration and rebirth. This could also be a rebirth of maybe doing something in terms of a monetary nature. I mean, remember that Pluto, can tear down things, but it can also, given that it's about rebirth and regeneration, it could often supplant what may have been destroyed. And the thing about this too is you got to really be, this is a time too where you don't want to become overly manipulative or really or being overly controlling regarding things of a monetary nature in your possessions at this time. At this time as well, in some cases, this could be about an obliteration of one's self-esteem or self-worth, or even perhaps a rebirth. But I think a lot of this could depend on the aspects this makes. Like, say, if this Pluto transit is making an adverse aspect to your natal your natal Pluto, this could be about a time where maybe you might not have such luck with this self-esteem thing, and it might be an obliteration of maybe your self-esteem and self-worth. But let's say if it's making a positive aspect to your natal Jupiter, or sextile or trine, say, this could be about a rebirth in self-esteem and self-worth and how you feel about yourself. So anyway, next thing up is the North Node will be in Leo still. So the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Remember, when you have the North Node in transit, this could be about issues one has to perhaps confront and address. So this could be about dealing with confronting perhaps an arrogant, domineering, bombastic, flamboyant, perhaps in-law or grandchild. It could be a foreigner, someone maybe you have met through traveling abroad. Also about taking pride and dignity in one's philosophies, their religion, their higher education. And sometimes this could be the way this could manifest and work out. It could be directing yourself to having to be a little bit more magnanimous or more extravagant maybe in matters connected with higher education, with in-laws and grandchildren, more generous in those areas, and also about maybe getting attention and recognition from these people, really, and maybe you felt like you haven't been lauded or praised enough before from it, or even publishing, or maybe even higher education accomplishments and attainments that you feel you haven't gotten credit for previously. You may be more desirous of doing so now. Anyway, the Black Moon Lilith will still be in Capricorn, so the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time for Sag, well, this could be a time where, I mean, you look at the Black Moon Lilith, this could be the way this could work out. Black Moon Lilith can often be about revelation and unveiling. This could be about perhaps somebody that you might know at the place you generate money at, that might be showing some kind of tyrannical, ruthless, overambitious, and very cold and callous qualities at this time. Some cases this could be a revelation or unveiling of a formidable Capricorn adversary at this, maybe your place where you make money, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or one that simply embodies Capricorn characteristics, or maybe this person might have a negative impact on your self-esteem, your self-worth, how you feel about yourself, maybe even your possessions. And also, the way this could pan out, to remember, like this, when you're talking about the Black Moon Lilith, could often be about something that one may wind up unveiling or revealing, or someone else does about his or herself that they don't want out of the bag, so to speak, but winds up coming out anyway. This could be about a very maybe depressing or limiting or restricted monetary situation, or lack of resources, where you don't really want out of the bag, but perhaps it comes out anyway. So anyway, last but not least, Chiron will be in Aries still, so the fifth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Sag. So at this time for Sagittarius, this could be a time for Sag where he or she might be going through some emotional suffering, dealing with perhaps combative, acrimonious, contentious situations with children, with a love romantic relationship, someone that might be prominent in their hobbies or in their amusement and their enjoyment. This could also be too maybe dealing with lack of enterprise and initiative in matters with children, a romantic partner. It could be something where maybe there were confrontational ability might have been lacked, and maybe you feel like, you know, there might be feelings of unworthiness because of this, or maybe there's more suffering, emotional suffering than usual because of these situations. And remember that this Chiron, when you're talking about Chiron and Aries, a lot of this can be connected with a lack of worthiness, and because you're talking about the fifth house, this could be maybe a time where you might not feel worthy of love in your life, or worthy of the connection with children, or even worthy, maybe even like maybe not deserving of even having any fun, amusement, and enjoyment. But the thing about this too is that it also as well, the thing to remember about Chiron, it is the wounded healer. So in these areas you might be having difficulty with in connection with Chiron and Aries and the fifth house, you could help others out dealing with comparable situations, and doing so with a lot of that Aries like aggressiveness, assertiveness, initiative, enterprise, and fortitude. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Sagittarius June 2018 horoscope forecast. Stay tuned next time, where I'll be giving you my Capricorn June 2018 horoscope forecast. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person astrologically speaking based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.